Knicks family, what's poppin' is your boy. Good evening to you. I'm glad you guys are here. And we're going to get this thing started, man, because I'm already a little bit late. And Guillermo is bugging me about getting to this West Side Gun album review. So, I got to move quick because he wants to get to it. Because directly after this show, at about 11:45, we're going to review the West Side Gun Pray for Paris album on the front stoop. So make sure you're there with me. Join in. Talk about the album. Have a good time. All that good stuff, man. So we're going to go ahead and get this thing started right off the bat. In the chat right now, we got Guillermo. We got Andy. We got Ro. New to the chat. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to break this thing down and talk about the Knicks Big Board. And look, players I have on the board, they're going to move and change right now. I stuck some players up there, and then we're going to talk about it and, who should be where, what, and why. And as we review more players, some players may move up, may move down. Once we find out what the Knicks are going to draft, it's going to change. All right, so this is just the first incarnation of the Knicks Big Board. And remember, this is not your top players in the draft. These are players that we think the Knicks should really be taking a look at. So you're going to agree. Some people will agree. Some people will disagree. It's all good. All right. So let me get these guys over here. Oh, and if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. Ring that notification bell. You'll be notified anytime I go live, drop a video, or post to my community section. And if you want to take a look at this West Side Gun album and review it with us, then make sure you join us on the front stoop. The link is in the description of this video. So let's go ahead and get these guys over here, man. Guillermo, Andy, what's popping with you, man? How you guys doing?
I'm good, Sam. I'm good, man. Chilling, bro. Yeah, man. This draft, me and Andy were talking about it, man. It's weak. Drafting boards it's gonna be really top heavy, probably with top two, but I guess second round there's some gems probably or some value you could get, but overall, man, this is probably I'm saying one of my least favorite. It's not like I analyze like drafts all the time, NBA drafts like that, but it's a really weak draft.
Yeah, I feel you. So right now we're really going over. We're gonna go over the top 10, what we think the top 10 players for the Knicks are, right? And then we're gonna do a part 2 where we're going to do like the rest of the first round, and then we'll do a second round big board. All right, and then of course it's going to change. It's going to move around, and I guess maybe just before the draft, whenever the draft is going to be, we'll do a final big board with all 30 players in the first round and then players in the second round. And once I got, you're right though, because when I got to, as I'm listing players off and I start to get to the top 5, once I get past the top 5, I'm like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, okay, now what? You know what I mean? So it's definitely not an easy draft. And there's probably some players that some people in the chat have in mind that we should look at for that top 10. And we'll get a chance to look at them as we go on and as we continue to grow and change. And what I'm going to do is put it on my website, nbkfam.com, put it on the website where people can vote and let it move up and down and stuff like that. I'm working on that now. So we'll see what's going on. And let me get the Ro. I think this is the first time Ro's been in the chat. Ro, what's going on, man? Gonna have to unmute yourself. Gotta unmute yourself, Ro. Gotta unmute yourself.
I hear him.
Yeah, I hear him.
Oh, maybe my fault. I had him muted. My bad. Go ahead, Ro.
Hey, how you doing, man? Good, big fan. I've been watching you guys for a minute now, so I decided to join in.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Definitely appreciate that. So before we even get started looking at the entire big board, the first thing I want to do is just look at the draft picks that we have. All right, and our needs, the needs for the Knicks. That's first and foremost. Okay, so the projected draft picks right now for the Knicks are the 6th pick, okay, which is our pick. And this is just the projections from the end of the season. If we were to end the season right now, and we would have a good chance of getting that 6th pick. Okay, and then you got the 27th pick, which is from the Clippers, and that we got that from the Marcus Morris trade. And then we got the 38th pick, or somewhere around the 38th pick, and I believe that's from Charlotte. Okay, so these are the projected picks for the 2020 draft. Right now, we're basically looking at the top 10 players for that 6th pick. All right, and looking at a big board for that pick right there. All right. And then our needs. Well, we need a point guard, right? That's number one. We need a point guard. That's first and foremost. We've got to have a point guard on the team. And if we can't get a good point guard, then I don't know where you go. Maybe you got to rely on free agency, but we really need a point guard on the team. We definitely need 3-point shooting. We were one of the worst 3-point shooting teams in the league. A good 3-and-D guy would help us. A point guard that can shoot the 3 would help us. None of our point guards could shoot the 3. Every single one of our point guards on this team this year shot below 30% from the 3-point line. Maybe Frank Ntilikina was 31, 32. Right? They shot below 33%. Let's say that. Every single one of our point guards shot below 33% from the 3-point line. It's not good. It's not good at all. And then we need some center depth behind Mitchell Robinson, man. Mitchell Robinson, he's hopefully going to be a good center in the NBA. I have no doubt. I think he's going to be a good center in the NBA. But you got to find something to go behind him. I mean, right now, we got Taj Gibson. Taj Gibson's not going to be. If he's here next year, he's not going to start. I think Mitchell Robinson is finally going to claim that spot. Whether or not he deserves to, I think he's finally going to claim it next year. Right? And then, you can have Taj Gibson coming off the bench, but you want some young blood coming off the bench as a backup center, I think. So I think we need some center depth. Right? But even that being said, we need talent everywhere across the board. Right? I don't know. You guys have anything else that you want to add in as far as the needs for the team?
Yes, 3-point shooters. You need guards to shoot. Guards and threes. I mean, even if they're not starters, you need role players who can shoot, spread the floor. I don't know what the Knicks percentage was 3-point shooting wise, but we could not stretch the floor. And that really hurt us with regards to what we could run on offense. Overall wins, how many times were guys open and guys hesitated, couldn't hit the threes in big spots despite being wide open. You know what I mean? So, in a modern day NBA, you need guys who could shoot. And that's not even to say, they have to be these so-called premier shooters. We don't have to get guys who shoot 45% come out the gate, but we need guys at least, coming out of this draft in the first year shooting the high 30s. Give us a waking chance when that opens up the offense. Give us a chance in games where we can spread out the floor, or we don't have to go through Randall kind of barreling through the middle of the floor, through the middle of the paint. We don't have to have RJ driving all the way from the wing into the lane. Well, I guess maybe not RJ more so because you still want him to shoot, but basically open up the offense. We need shooting. That's a big thing. We need guys also athletic 4s and 5s who can run and defend and rebound, especially for the bench. These are second round undrafted guys. Because when you watch all these offenses, obviously when you watch all these defense games we play where our defenses were basically dominated. I don't say dominant on the offensive boards. Sometimes the defensive boards were dominated. We allow guys to drive to the middle lane. Randall would allow guys to just basically go through them. On the pick and roll defense was really poor at times, especially with guys like Randall in. Mitch Robinson get himself into foul trouble. Honestly, Mitch Robinson was probably our best defensive guy in the front court. Or really our only defensive guy that we count on 30 minutes a night. And he wasn't even playing that on average, to defend the front court. So we need some 4s and 5s who can just basically run the floor, do the basic pick and roll, but also do a lot of the dirty work. When these teams come and run a pick and roll, they can defend against that. I can remember games like Celtics. I think it was maybe the second or third game where Kemba Walker buried us by running that pick and roll. He got Randall in a bunch of foul trouble because Randall wasn't committing at the right time. and they killed us like that. You know what I mean? So you need those 4s and 5s who can run the floor. You need the 3s and the 2s who can shoot, and we need a point guard.
Okay. Andy, any other needs you want to add in there that you think,
I think Guillermo got to patch up really good. So we're such a weak team that I think any position we're gonna draft good, so it's gonna be better. But we gotta look for the point guard probably the most. Maybe a small forward. I'm not trying to pick and sub in Mitch in for a Wiseman type. That would be drafting the position that you basically got covered for few next years. And the point guard position, I think despite we have Frank and that I would go with, if it's going to be the point guard position with him or not, I still think the point guard position would be really good to draft.
Okay. Now let me ask you: are you going with a point guard no matter what?
No.
No, this is not a best player available draft outside of Anthony Edwards. And I always say because if we have the number 2 pick and someone wants to pick LaMelo first, and obviously you pick him over any other point guard option that's out there. But this is a draft where you got to be precise in terms of talent because it's so devoid of it. So you don't want to draft a guy, try to force him to be this point guard that you didn't even originally envision him to be. And then we have to go back to this next year. Maybe next year we think that this point guard, he's going to pan out. He needs 5 years, so whatever. And we don't take the proper point guard next year. You know what I mean? So draft a guy that's the most talented because we do. Look, this is a team that we don't win games. Like we're not winning games. So even if you draft another, it's crazy. I don't think we're going to draft Wiseman, but say you draft another center, and that's the guy who had the most value on the court left in the draft. I mean, dude, you freaking take him because I don't know. This draft is just so terrible that you can't force yourself to just pick by need. You know what I mean?
Okay. Hey, Ro, you want to add anything into that?
Yeah, I think Andy kind of hit it on the head when he said that we're so bad that we just we need everything almost outside of RJ. But I think the key for us, we have to have players who can contribute even when they don't have the ball or not the ball dominant players. Frank, he's a good defender, but outside of that, what value does he add? Dennis Smith, when he's hot, he can contribute offensively, but when he's not, he's worthless. So we need a guy RJ has value. When he doesn't score, he rebounds, he defends, he can pass well. So we need those type of players. I think it's a 3-player draft, though. I think you got Anthony Edwards, you got Wiseman and LaMelo. And I know we got Mitch, but I think Wiseman upside is way higher. And if we got Wiseman, you throw him in the paint and you say better man win. We can't say just point guard. We need a point guard. You get the best players available, and then you figure the rest out. Maybe that'll help you recruit free agents.
Okay. All right. Let me see who we got coming in here. We got Jose. We got Isaiah. Isaiah, you want to add anything into the needs for the team? And I know you probably haven't heard everything. But I'm gonna give you a second to just add some things in there, if you want to.
I was listening to a little bit before I got in. When it comes, it's I think that's always been the oldest debate when it comes to drafting across any sport. Do you go for best available talent or do you go for need? And, for me, I think I've always more sided on best available talent versus need because, sometimes you can never go with too much talent. So I'm probably leaning towards, just going best player available, man, honestly. Wherever we land, we just get the best player, man. It's a decent point guard draft. So try to get one of them guys. If not, I think we're going to be in the running for Toppin, not Toppin.
Toppin.
Andy, I'm sorry, Andy. I just disappoint you every time I get on the chat. No, but yeah, honestly, I think we're going to be we're going to be in the middle, so we definitely got a chance to grab somebody good. So just go best player available, man, and just see what we can do. Like like they said, we're kind of not the best at talent right now, so we just got to keep adding talent, man. And then after a while, hopefully we can be in a position to draft for need versus just getting talent.
We went over the needs for the team. All right, point guard, 3-point shooting, and center depth. These are the things that we need. We should be kind of looking at that at the draft, in my opinion. But you don't take a point guard just to take a point guard. Because you say, oh, we need a point guard, we got to take a point guard. I don't think you do that. Not in this draft. When the guys just said it in the chat. Not in this draft. 3-point shooting, we need 3-point shooting. Center depth, you need some athletic bigs. All right? So let's break down some of the best players by position. And look, if I missed anything, I missed it. And like I said, it's a growing big board, so we can add stuff in there. So let's take a look at the Knicks Big Board and do a ranking by position. Okay? So the first position is point guard. Our obvious player at point guard is LaMelo Ball. Right? That's, I think, for most Knicks fans, that's our guy. Okay, we want LaMelo Ball. Taking a quick look at LaMelo Ball. All right, 6'8", 180 pounds. You guys know what he can do. He's a natural playmaker. Can score from anywhere. He's got a good basketball IQ. He can play up-tempo or half-court. He has a nose for the ball. He's decent at defense. Some people say he's weak at defense. I think he's okay. He's got to get stronger so he can be a better defender, right? He's got to build his strength, his upper and lower body strength. He's got to work on that shot selection and field goal percentage. Gambles defensively, and he will turn it over, right? But I don't get too mad at his turnovers. The reason why I don't get really mad at LaMelo Ball's turnovers because I feel like he turns the ball over trying to make something happen. All right, so I think he's the primary point guard that the Knicks should be looking at in this draft. Okay, the next guy, Tyrese Halliburton. All right, and we looked at Tyrese Halliburton as well. All right, when we talk about Tyrese Halliburton, well, I thought that I was going to have him over there. I'll come back to it. All right, when we look at Halliburton, he's a natural facilitator. Okay, that can move the ball for you, and he can play defense. All right, there we go. Got Halliburton up there. He's a point guard, 6'5", 185 pounds. He's got excellent vision, and he's a passer. He's smart, crafty. He's a facilitator. These are things that the Knicks need. He's an efficient scorer. He's an active defender. He can play the lane. He's a guy that kind of seems unflustered. He's got a thin, wiry frame, though. He's going to have to, but so does LaMelo Ball. He's going to have to grow a little bit, but he's 20 with a thin, wiry frame. Right? The question is, can he play strong versus strong guards? Can he play versus strong guards? We've seen in college where these strong guards are able to push him around, move him around a little bit. He's not an explosive athlete, and he has a low trajectory on his shot. Kind of has a push shot. All right, but he does shoot 41.9% from three. So he fits two bills. Okay, he fits two things that we desperately need, a point guard and someone who can shoot from three. All right, so, he's up there. You got Killian Hayes at point guard. All right, and we took a look at Killian Hayes as well. All right, now with Killian Hayes, the thing about Killian Hayes, for me, is that he was, I just had some questions about him. He's got good court vision. He's a smart player. He can play in the open court. Right? He can score off the dribble and can pull up. He can boom, 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 and pull up. All right, he plays some defense. He's got to develop his outside shot. You see, he shot 29.4% from the three-point line. Really doesn't have elite speed. He doesn't have elite skill that you can point to and say, yes, this guy can get you over with that. And he'll turn the ball over. right? But he'll make a decent point guard in the NBA for some team at some time. All right? I mean, you know, I'm just kind of if about him. You got Cole Anthony. I'm not high on Cole Anthony. All right? You know, there'll be people who kill me over Cole Anthony. But I'm not high on him. You know what I mean? Cole Anthony got an explosive first step. He's a point guard, 6'2", 185 pounds. So he's got good size. All right? He's definitely got good size. He's got a bunch of finishing moves. He can finish with the left, with the right. He's got a different floaters, different layups. He's got finishing moves. He can handle the ball. He can get small. He's a decent defender. He plays the lane. He's got good footwork. All right, he is a volume shooter, and his efficiency is low. Shoots 38% from the field, 34.8% from three. It's not awful. 34.8%. It's low efficient. His efficiency is low. All right, and he can be turnover prone. And my question is, and I know this is where some people really killed me about Cole Anthony, is whether or not he's going to be a starting point guard, a long-term starting point guard in the NBA. Okay, I likened him to some guys that people want to kill me about. People like DJ Augustine, you know, kind of a guy that, you know, he might start his first couple years in the league, and then he ends up, you know, kind of taking that backup role and settling into that backup role, kind of like his daddy. A little bit like his daddy. You know? So some people kind of killed me for that, but that's my opinion of the guy. All right, and another guy that we did not get a chance to go over yet, and we will, is R.J. Hampton. All right, so I don't have a card for R.J. Hampton right now because we didn't get a chance to go over R.J. Hampton, but we will. All right, right now, I kind of got him in the same area as Cole Anthony on my draft board. All right, next up the bat. Now, this is not next up. Remember, this is just ranking by position. This is not overall. You got at the shooting guard spot, you got Anthony Edwards. All right, Anthony Edwards, man, I think this guy is, I think he is the hands down number one pick. He's got the dog mentality. You know what I'm saying? He's obviously an explosive athlete. He's got great instincts and good feel for the game. He's a natural scorer. He can be a playmaker. He's got to develop, but he can be a playmaker. And he exudes confidence. It's just something that the Knicks need. They need somebody that can bring that type of flair to the game, bring that type of confidence to the game. He's got to develop a mid-range game, right? But he's got the skill, and it seems like the drive, if you know his history, the character to do it. All right? He needs to work on that, you know, movement off the ball. He's got to continue to develop as a playmaker. He's got to work on his field goal percentage and shot selection. But I think hands down, he's the number one pick in the draft. My opinion. You know, some people will kill me for it, but I get it. All right, next up, from that shooting guard spot, we didn't get a chance to go over this guy, Tyrese Maxey. We'll get a chance to go over Tyrese Maxey and talk a little bit more about him. Okay, at the small forward spot, you got Isaac Okoro. Right, and we did talk about Isaac Okoro a little bit. He is a bruiser type of player, right? He's a physical type of guy. That is something that the Knicks need. They need guys that are physical, but I don't think he matches everything that the Knicks need. Right? I think that, you know, he's a slasher. He plays physical. He's a cutter. He's a slasher. He scores in transition. He's an explosive athlete. He's a capable defender. I think the Knicks need more than that, though, right now, in my opinion. Okay, he's got to improve his half-court play. He's got to improve as a creator. His three-point shooting, he shoots 28.6% from the field. He shoots 28.6% from three. Although he does shoot 51.2% from the field, most of that is because he scores in transition. All right, he doesn't have a mid-range game. And look, that's something that he can develop. I get it. But, you know, he's not somebody that, you know, I don't know. I just don't have him on my radar that high. Although he is talented, so he's going to be, you know, he's going to be there somewhere, I think. You know, the Knicks will have him thinking about this guy. We went over Sadiq Bey. I really like Sadiq Bey. Some people, there's differing opinions about this guy, but for the Knicks, I feel like he really does fit. He really fits something that we need. Right? And maybe I'm biased because, he's from, I heard him playing in high school and all that kind of stuff. So maybe I'm biased, but it is what it is. Okay, listen, he can shoot it from deep. He's one of the top 5 3-point shooters in the NCAA. One of the top 5. Okay, he shoots 47.7% from the field and 45.1% from the 3-point line. He can shoot it from deep. All right, he can play inside a little bit. Right? I'm not saying that he's going to have this monstrous post-up game, but he can play inside a little bit. He's a decent defender, and he has the ability to handle the ball in a pick-and-roll situation. Now, here's the thing with him. He doesn't have a lot of bounce, and he doesn't have a quick first step or a lot of speed, which hinders him on the offensive side. He takes short strides, so when he does get past somebody, he doesn't take long steps to get to the basket. He takes short ones, which allows other people to catch up to him. And because of the short strides and not a lot of speed, he needs a lot of dribbles to get past people. He can get loosey-goosey with the dribble at times. But I think in the NBA, in the right coaching, you're not going to have to worry about it that much because he's not going to be doing those things. All right? He's not going to be the guy that you're relying on to create your shot. Right? He's going to be, he's going to be a 3-point guy that can stretch the floor for you, that can grab a couple of rebounds, that can play defense on multiple positions. I really like this guy for the Knicks at the right spot. Okay. Next guy in that small forward range, we're talking about Denny Advia. I'm kind of okay with him. You know what I mean? I'm kind of okay with him, but I'm not crazy about him. I don't know if he's what the Knicks need. You know what I'm saying? Yes, he can play the 3 and the 4. Right? But we got a 3 that can be a playmaker if we want him to be in R.J. Barrett. Some people say this guy is going to be the next Luka. Some say this guy is just going to flake out. All right, we went over this guy. We talked about him. We don't know what his stats are because he plays in so many different leagues. But we don't know what his full stats are. But, listen, he's got all-around skills. He's 6'9", 215. He's got all-around skills. He can make plays for other. Right? He has a good basketball IQ. He's versatile. Can defend at least 2 positions in the NBA. Small forward, power forward. But then you got to work, what's the competition that he's played against? You always got to worry about that. He's not an athlete. He's not explosive. He has some erratic shooting. One league he's shooting well. The other league he's not shooting well. And then you got to, you ask, what's his upside? What's his upside? I'm not crazy about him. I see a lot of people all over the NBA say that this guy could be this guy could be that. I actually seen, someone say that he could be the sleeper pick for the Knicks. I don't think he's going to be the sleeper pick for the Knicks. You never know, but I don't think he's going to be. All right. And then at the power forward spot, you got Obi Toppin. And we talked about Obi Toppin. I like Obi Toppin. I do. Right? Listen, I don't know, a lot of people liken him to Amari because of his style of playing, the way that he plays, and I see it. I do. I definitely see it. Is he going to be Amari Stoudemire? I don't know. I have some worries about him. Obviously, he's 22 years old and he's a sophomore. Okay? He wasn't highly recruited out of high school. He went to prep school after high school. And then when he finally decided to go to Dayton, he was a red shirt his freshman year. So he didn't play his freshman year. And then he finally played. So it took some years of development for him to reach the level where, to reach this level. And that's okay. But there's some things about him reaching this level that concern me. He averaged 20 points, 7.5 rebounds. Shot 63% from the field. And he shot 39% from 3. So, Okay. He has good NBA size and strength. He's vertically explosive. You know, when I say vertically, I mean he can get up in the air and quick, which makes him great in that pick and roll. He's a great roller in the pick and roll. He can shoot from the outside. Now, his weaknesses. How close is he to his ceiling? That's one thing that I ask. And not because he's 22. Partly because he's 22. But because there's certain things with his footwork that is not developed at 22 that I think should be developed at 22. Okay? And that bothers me. He's very stiff. He lacks shiftiness, no fluidity. Okay? He doesn't really have an offensive repertoire. You know, which says to me that, you know, in the NBA, he's really going to rely on being vertically explosive and power. How long is that going to last? You know, that's my questions about him. I like him, but I do have questions about him. Like I said before, I think he's going to, first few years, he's going to come in and people are going to be like, wow, this kid is good. And then he's going to kind of level off because I don't know if he's going to continue to develop. You know, I think his footwork is limited. And I think your footwork is a big key to you developing as a player. But he's on the big board, without a doubt. And then you got Precious Ochiwa. Now, I don't know much about him. Have to, you know, do some research on him. I didn't do a lot of research on him yet. And we're going to check him out. You got James Wiseman. So, you know, and I pulled Precious off just looking at different, you know, different boards and what different people and what other scouts say about him. That's how I added him on here. You got James Wiseman. Okay, and you know a lot of people say that James Wiseman is going to be his talent is off the charts, and this kid could be a really good one. Right, 7'1", 235. He's got really good size. He's got great footwork, and he's nimble on his toes, which is great. You need that. He's got the fundamentals to develop an offensive game. Right now, he's kind of a it's kind of like Mitch with his offensive game, but he has a much better touch, and he will shoot it. Right now, Mitch hasn't shown that he's willing to shoot it. He will shoot it. He will shoot the mid-range shot. He will do a post-up move. So, you know, he shows those flashes, and he has the potential to be a great paint defender. I think he averaged like 3.1 blocks per game or something like that this season. Okay, now, basketball experience. He only played 3 games this year. He only played 3 games for the Memphis Tigers. You know, you can go do the research and look at and see what what his violations were and why he did not play. But he only played 3 games. He needs to develop an offensive package. But he has the fundamentals to do so. He's only 19. Just turned 19, as a matter of fact. He'll bite on fakes, kind of like Mitch, and he's got to build his upper and lower body. These are all things that you expect from a young player, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so yes, he's going to be behind everybody's big board. And then next, from the center position, you got Onyeka Okongwu. And excuse me if I butchered his name. And we haven't done much about him, but from what I have seen, you know, he's a talented center that's pretty good. He has a couple of post moves. You know, he's athletic. He can move. You know, he can get up and down the floor. He can rebound the ball. You know, he's a guy that can be a player. And I think you got to have him. You know, you got to be thinking about him. Do we take him with a top 10 pick? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? That's something that you got to think about. All right, so right now, that's just the ranking by position. And, you know, we can have a difference of opinion here, right, as far as who should be ranked by position, what, when, and where. You know what I'm saying? And right now, you see we got a full chat, right? So I'm not even going to bother coming to these guys because I don't know if they're paying attention to what I'm saying. But those are the rankings by position, ladies and gentlemen. Let me get to a phone call, you know, see what some of these guys think as far as the phone calls are concerned, you know, guys calling in. And then I'll get to the guys in the chat as we break down not just the rankings by position, but we're going to take a look at, you know, what the top 10 players are on my big board, in the chat's big board, and we'll talk about it. Caller, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping? Oh, 1 second. Go ahead. What'd you say now? Hey, what's going on, Tony Crow, man? How you feeling? Yeah, man. We broke down a lot of these players, talked about them. Now we kind of going over, what the ranking is by position, man. At point guard, we got LaMelo Ball, Tyrese Halliburton, Killian Hayes, Cole Anthony, R.J. Hampton. That kind of rounds out my top 5 with the point guards. And obviously, I got more point guards because that's our biggest need. Shooting guards, you got Anthony Edwards and Tyrese Maxey. Small forward, Isaac Okoro, Sadiq Bey, Denny Advia. Power forward, Obi Toppin, Precious, Ochiwa. And then at center, you got James Wiseman and Onyeka Okongwu. Hopefully, I said his name correctly. That kind of rounds out, what I see by position. Okay. But obviously, the point guard, and that's why you see the point guard is so stacked, because we are in need of a point guard. Right. So, that's got to be a position that we're really looking at hard. But then also, we need 3-point shooters. Right. And when you look at the top 5 3-point shooters in the NBA, in the NCAA this season, you had Stephen Gonzalez. He was number 1. He shot 47.7%. Jake Toulson, he shot 47%. He was number 2. Drew Cuxhausen, he shot 45.8%. Sadiq Bey shot 45.1%. He's number 4 in the nation. And then Nate Kennedy, he shot 44.7%. He was number 5 in the nation. Only one. Look, most of those guys. Then, if you look at the top 10, those guys. Most of those guys you're not going to be drafting in your top 15 picks. Okay. Now Tyrese Halliburton, he also shot 41%. So when you look at our positions, and I'm going to go back for just a second, looking at our positions. When you look at our positions, right, only 2 guys are really top 3-point shooters or maybe 3 guys. You got Tyrese Halliburton, you got Sadiq Bey and Obi Toppin, right? These guys all fit like 2 things that you need. Okay, from the point guard spot, Tyrese Halliburton, obviously you need a point guard that can facilitate and a 3-point shooter. Obi Toppin, do we really need a power forward? I don't know. If you're looking to move Julius Randle, maybe so. If you're looking to take, if he's on the board when it's time to, wherever you're drafting and he's the best talent, then you take him and then you make a decision what to do with Julius Randle. Sadiq Bey, I think he really fits something that we need, a 3-and-D guy. I think he really, really fits, and I feel like he's a really, really good fit for the Knicks, man, Sadiq Bey. Not at your top 5 picks, you know what I'm saying? And he's definitely not, you're not going to take him with one of your top 5 picks, in my opinion. But after that, it's up in the air. You know what I'm saying? But those 3 guys fit some things that we definitely need when you're talking about, 3-point shooting and talent, point guard spot, stuff like that, man. What's your take?
Point shooters. What were the other 4 players' positions?
Out of the top 5 3-point shooters, they were all guards. They were all guards. I think mostly point guards and then a couple, mostly point guards and 1 shooting guard, I believe.
Okay. I like the board. I see you got the board up. I like everybody on there. I agree with you about Cole Anthony. I think he's gonna end up being a backup in the long run. Out of those guys, my top guys would probably be LaMelo, Wiseman, obviously Edwards. I'm gonna try to give you 5 out of those. I like Hampton too, but he's gonna be more of a project, I think. or not necessarily a project. He's going to take some time to be who, as good as he could be. I like Bay too, and I like Toppin.
And let me ask you about Bay, because we had a good conversation about Bay the other day. When we're talking about Bay, does his lack of athleticism scare you when picking him in that top 10?
Above 10 or at 10?
Like let's say between 7 and 10. Between 7 and 10.
Let's say we get the 5th pick.
Right. I'm not picking him with the 5th pick, I don't think.
So who's your 5 guys above him?
Okay. Well, that leads us right into the big board, right? So I'm gonna get over to the big board and I'll go over the top, my guys that are above them, or not just the guys that are above them, but everybody that's on my big board. All right, so on my big board, I have, and let me get it on over there for you. I don't think I put it over there. Oh, all right. So on my big board, I have Anthony Edwards at number 1. Okay. LaMelo Ball, James Wiseman, Tyrese Halliburton, Obi Toppin, Killian Hayes, Isaac Okoro. And I don't know about the Killian Hayes. I'm thinking about taking him out of there because I'm not really high on him. Isaac Okoro, my thing about him is he's younger and he's more talented than Saddiq Bey. Right? But he doesn't provide some of the things we need from Saddiq Bey. And then I got Denny Advia. I'm not really high on him. He could move out. And then you got Cole Anthony and RJ Hampton. All right. Kind of tied. All right. So that's the top 10 players that I would have on the big board right now. That's Anthony Edwards, LaMelo Ball, James Wiseman, Tyrese Halliburton, Obi Toppin, Killian Hayes, Isaac Okoro, Saddiq Bey, Danny Advia, Cole Anthony, and RJ Hampton. That's kind of like 10 and 11.
So the two guys you got above Bey, you kind of iffy on.
Kind of iffy on him. I'm kind of iffy on him. Killian Hayes really because he's a point guard. Isaac Okoro because I think he has more talent. You know what I'm saying? I think he has more talent than Saddiq Bey, and he's younger. Saddiq Bey is 21 years old as a sophomore, right? So, I haven't looked at, so I think I don't know if he was if he went to prep school or was a red shirt, but
yeah, I really like his game, and the slow feet or whatever. It doesn't really bother me too much, just because we've seen some people thrive in the NBA, and the fact that he developed his game like that, he's gonna have a longer career. He's not based off of athleticism. Like the concerns you have about Toppin, because that's what I was going to ask you. You got Toppin over Bey, and I'm like on a fence between those two, because I think we're going to be in that range for both of them.
Okay.
And I really like both of them. And yeah, his athleticism goes. If you know what I mean. It's going to be a problem for Toppin, and Bey
that's
doesn't
true.
really
That
rely
could be
on
true.
athleticism. So I think a guy like him, not hoping anybody gets injured, but he could get injured and come back and end up being as good, maybe better, or the same. You know what I mean? It's not going to affect his game.
Very true. You might have just pushed him up the board for me and pushed Obi down the board for me, because you're right. Kind of like Amari with Obi Toppin, if he suffers a knee injury or something like that, he doesn't have those fundamentals to fall back on. Sadiq Bey does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's real high on my board right now. Like, if we don't get those surefire, Edwards, Ball, Wiseman, those are my like top 3 right there. If we drop a little bit, like I can't see me getting them at 4, but 5 I'm thinking about it. 6 is like, yeah, 7 for sure. You know what I mean? Like, the lower we go down on the board, I really like Bay. I like. We need shooting. We need somebody who, if the only thing he does is shoot the ball, like, we need somebody that we know that's what he does.
Yeah.
Even the guys that we have this year that that was supposed to be the MO, they weren't really even consistent. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I'm looking in the draft, and I see King Ant G say, that we've seriously underrated Killian Hayes. I mean, I'm just not. He's okay to me. I'm not sure. Like I said, when I broke it down and looked at him, I'm not sure if Killian Hayes, like, when he plays, he has good court vision, right? And you can see it. But I'm not sure if it's because of the system or because he actually has good court vision. Because when you look at Killian Hayes, a lot of his passes to open players come out of that screen and roll. You know what I mean? So I don't know if it's because he's finding it himself, or it's because the way that it's set up, it's there for him. You know what I mean? And like, if you don't make the pass, then you're just a bad player. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm not sure about him. I like Tyrese Halliburton because I think that he's very crafty, very smart. I like that he can knock down the 3. He shoots it at a low trajectory, which makes it hard for him to pull up. That, Killian Hayes does have that over top of him. You know what I'm saying? And I like the I don't know. I feel like Tyrese Halliburton is more of a facilitator, more of a natural facilitator than Killian Hayes is, to me.
I gotta look up Halliburton. I am familiar with Hayes. I do like Hayes. I don't know if he is game changing. Like, if we're gonna get a point guard, I want him to be game changing.
Right.
Like, immediately we know this guy's starting. There's no question. Like, nobody's thinking like, oh, I'm fighting for this position. Like, not saying give it to him, but if he's not game changing, I don't even want to go that point guard route. I'd rather try to bring somebody in.
Yeah. And then I seen Stephen Fox say that Sadiq Bey is slow, and he is slow, man. He's definitely slow.
I mean, I can name a couple of guys that were slow that killed in the league.
Nah, you're right. You're right. But he's a slow dude. And I seen someone else say, that Sadiq Bey is it's something about Sadiq Bey is not even a first rounder. I disagree there. And I don't know, maybe the guy is new. I can't see his name. Oh, MOD Roger. He said, Sadiq Bey is probably not even a first rounder. And maybe for other teams, but I feel like he fits something that the Knicks really, really need. And a lot of times, if we're at the 7th or 8th pick, I mean, I don't know. I think that
you get the guy you like. Basically.
Yeah, man. You get the guy you like. Now, I seen someone else say that you can trade down to get Sadiq Bey. That is possible.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to that too. If we are not sure on a guy and somebody else calls and say, oh, I like that guy, he's available right now, grab him for me. You know what I mean? And then we work it out, whatever trade they have. I'm not opposed to that.
Yeah.
As long as we're not giving up the A-listers. But, I just wanted to call before I have to go to bed. Have a good night. Shout out to the chat. Yo, Black is time. Man. Keep doing your thing, son.
No doubt. Appreciate it, Tony.
What?
Peace. Hey, guys, listen. This is, these are guys that are there. And for other teams, Bey may not be a guy that you get in your top 10. And I'm thinking, he could be for the Knicks between 7 and 10, right? That's my thoughts. He could be between 7 and 10. I don't know if I'm going all the way up to 5 or 6 with Saddiq Bey. But I feel like he really, really can fit something that the Knicks need desperately. And that's why I think for some reason, I feel like he's a good fit for the Knicks. I seen someone say Denny Advia is, should be above Saddiq Bey. I don't know. And I'm going by my man Andy, who's seen him play a lot, who doesn't think highly of him as well. You know what I mean? Who's Mark said that Bey is going between 10 and 15. I could see that. You know what I'm saying? Mark said he'd take it at 7, maybe 6. I don't know. 6, scary for me. I don't know. Big shout out, man. I want to give a big shout out to Ghost Rider. Thank you for the super chat. He says, salute Sim, the best Knicks channel on the tube and on Sportscaster. Appreciate you. And Siobhan Robinson upgraded his membership to a 1970s NBA membership. I appreciate that. And then Michael Parker, thank you for the super chat. You said, would it be better for the Knicks to move Barrett in a pick for Ben Simmons or move Barrett to move up to get LaMelo? As I said earlier, man, I really don't like the idea of moving R.J. Barrett. Look, we drafted him. Let's try to fight it out for a couple years and see if he can be, he may not be the guy, but maybe he can be a huge piece. You know what I mean? I want to try to ride it out. He wanted to be in New York. He wants to take on this challenge. Let's let him do it for a little while. That's the way I feel about it with R.J. Barrett, I do want to remind you guys, first of all, smash that like button, ladies and gentlemen. All right? Smash that like button. Hit the like button. There's 392 people in here. It'd be beautiful to have 392 likes right now. All right? So smash that like button. And also, directly after this, I'm about to get off of here in about 5 minutes. And directly after this, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be on the front stoop as we take a listen to West Side Gun's new album. It's called Pray for Paris. All right, so I'd like you guys to join me over there. All right, I'm putting the link in the YouTube chat right now. All right, and you can also jump on the link if you go into the description of this video. There's a link to the front stoop where you can subscribe to the front stoop. All right, but make sure you check us out, man. We're gonna break down this West Side Gun album and talk about it just a little bit. All right, and I want to hear what you think about that. I just spammed up my own YouTube chat with links to the video where we're going to review and break down this album. All right, so everybody, please join me on the front stoop. I'm trying to get the front stoop up to 1,000 subscribers by the end of this month. So even if you don't want to come over there tonight, just subscribe to the front stoop. All right, be one of the subscribers on the front stoop. And maybe there's something there that you like at some time. All right, maybe there's something there that you like. Again, I'm putting the link in the chat. All right, go subscribe for me. If everybody that's in here now subscribes, we'll be at 1,000 subscribers tonight. You know what I mean? But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Knicks Big Board. This is part 1. All right, this is part 1 of the Big Board. So like I said, it could change. It could move around. And on my website, all right, it's not there now, but it will be. And by the time I see you again, I'll have it up there. You'll be able to go over there and vote for who your number 1, your number 2, and all that kind of stuff. And you'll see it reflected. So all the fans will be able to go there and vote, and you'll see it reflected. Players will move up and down. We did it last year. We called it the War Room. This year, we're calling it the Knicks Big Board. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you guys for being here. I want to try to get back to the guys that's in the chat. I don't know what kind of conversations they're having. All right, but we got a full chat tonight. See what these guys are talking about. All right. Guillermo, I'm coming to you, man.
Yo, bro.
What's going on, man? I got about 5 minutes, and then I got to get over there to the front stoop. But I don't know if you got a chance to hear what my big board is, but I'm going to read it off to you one more time. And like I said, this is very, 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 very flexible right now. It could change, and it will change. And then when the Knicks, when we find out what their draft pick is, it's going to change. All right, but this is what I have on the board right now. Anthony Edwards, LaMelo Ball, James Wiseman, Tyrese Halliburton, Obi Toppin, Killian Hayes, Isaac Okoro, Sadiq Bey, Denny Advia, and then you got Cole Anthony and RJ Hampton.
Did you mention Daniel Arturo?
No, did not.
That's one to look at too.
But he's one that I'm going to look at, yeah.
Someone drafted. This is from Ernesto. What's his guy's name? No, not Kara Lewis. The one who's playing at the JUCO.
Oh,
well, I just unmuted Ernesto, so Ernesto, you can talk too. I just unmuted him.
Yeah, it was Jay Scrubs. That's undrafted. We should look into Ernesto. Point that out. Salute to Ernesto for that. But the dude, he looks like he could be a fairly good wing. Unfortunately, he plays in a JUCO, so the level of competition is just not as high. But it's a guy maybe look in the second round undrafted. Even though people, given that's a weak draft, people kind of trying to talk him up. But that's a guy you could probably, because it did the same thing with Amir Hinton last year, and he went undrafted. So that's a guy maybe you might get forgotten. That's one we can put on our draft board. And yeah, that's that. I mean, that sounds that draft board sounds about right to me. I don't really got any other players to add.
Yeah, and like I said, it could change, it could move around, and it probably will. It's hard. This draft is hard to judge, man. It's really hard.
Did we mention Stephen Fox said? Did we mention a kid who's bypassing college for the G League?
But that's for next season, though, right? That's for next draft. That's not for this draft, right?
Right.
Right. That's for next draft. So, we'd have to look at and see, what happens there. But yeah, that's for next draft. Let me see if I can get around and get some of these guys. Hear what they got to say real quick, and then I'm going to be heading over to the front stoop so we can review your favorite album, your album of the year.
Yo. All right, just get to your. All right, Ernesto, who else got to talk next? Why are you doing this to me, son?
It's your album of the year, man. Lord, it's your album of the year so far.
Just get to the next guy. Roll, you're next. Go talk. Yo, this guy's here, man.
Hey, I'm just saying, that's his album of the year, Ernesto, what's going on, man?
Poppin', son.
I'm good, man. What's your take? You got any takes, man? Just some real quick takes about.
Well, I'm actually worried about Rose because I've been hearing a lot of him bringing back Melo, and I don't think that's the course of action that we should do.
Oh, you said about bringing back Melo. I think I don't know. I think that's more rumors than not. Right now, really, I think it's probably more rumors. I guess we'll see, but I think that's probably rumors, man.
Look, I think the most important thing that we do is the coaching staff.
Yeah.
I mean, we need to find the right guys to come in and develop these young kids that we have. That's the number one priority, man.
Yeah, that's without a doubt.
He has to form an elite staff. I didn't see it at all with the staff this year because they did a lot of rotations that were just completely garbage, and I wanted to see a completely different team the way it was run. I wanted to see the team being run completely different than in what it was. I mean, it was just completely trash almost what they did.
Yeah,
the rotations were garbage. I don't think they developed the kids the right way. It's just, I think that's the number one thing that we need to do. We need to hire the right coach and the right assistant to go along and develop these kids the right way.
Okay.
Because that's what's ultimately that's what's going to turn things around.
Right.
Getting these kids right. I mean, forget about free agents. Forget about superstars. We got to build within. We got to build this team through the draft, and we have to develop kids the right way, man. And that's the number one thing. That's the number one thing that Rose needs to do. If he
Okay.
brings in Melo and trades for Chris Paul and goes that route, I just think we're delaying the process.
Even if you still have a young RJ Barrett, you got this draft pick. And if you got Melo, I don't think he's bringing Melo in to be a starting small forward. I think it would just be as a farewell tour, honestly. But if you got Chris Paul, I think Chris Paul would be a guy that you bringing in to try to build your culture. But you would still have all of your young guys and probably acquire a draft pick from OKC.
You think, honestly, do you think Melo is going to come to the Knicks and come off the bench?
If
you think he's there already?
I don't know, but I think for Leon Rose, if they have a good relationship, maybe he says, you know what, I can do that for you, especially if he just wants a farewell tour. I don't know. Maybe he just wants to retire as a Knick. Who knows? And Leon Rose, I think, wants him to retire as a Knick based on their history. So maybe they say, hey, we can do a quick farewell tour. I mean, you're not bringing in Melo to help you win a championship or make it to the playoffs. You're not bringing him in for that.
All I'm saying
if you're bringing Melo in, it's for nothing
we're
but
have a minimum of 3 brand new prospects, right? We're going to have 2 first-round picks and a second-round pick. And Melo, that's another 20, 25 minutes that you're losing on developing another young player.
Well, I mean, I really don't think that's going to happen anyway. You know what I'm saying? I really don't think that's going. I think that's just talk.
I get it. Bring Melo back, farewell tour. I get that point of view, but from a GM perspective, if I'm just trying to build a winner, I'm trying to do this.
No, what I'm saying is, I don't think
at the fastest pace that I can, and I'm developing. I'm going with the young kids. Those are the guys who are going to get me there.
But what I'm saying is, I don't think that it's really. I don't think that they're gonna bring Melo back. I think that's just people speculating because they have a relationship. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they're gonna bring Melo back. You know what I mean? I mean, what would be the point? The only point would be if he was having a farewell tour, and I don't think he still wants to retire anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't. It's not gonna happen in my opinion. If it does, I don't know, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Kevin. Real quick, want to drop a couple jewels on us real quick because I'm about to head over to the front stoop, man.
Hey, Sim, how you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah. What I would say is I agree with you and Ernesto. I don't think Melo's coming back. As far as the draft board is concerned, I think I'm probably the only one that's high on Killian Hayes. So I would move him on your draft board that you just gave. I would move Killian Hayes to maybe to 4. All right.
Okay.
Everybody else, I would make him like put him after Edwards. So it would be for my point guard to be LaMelo, Edwards, and then Killian Hayes because I'm really high on Killian Hayes. And everybody else, I'm pretty much status quo with what you had on the board. And like y'all was saying, I just want I agree with Ernesto that we should really concentrate on the kids and maybe a couple of our veterans that we have right now, keep them on a couple. But we should really just concentrate on the kids and also utilize what we have in our G League as well, as far as Kenny Wooten and Lamar Peters, and also bringing up giving Iggy some minutes as well. We haven't seen what Iggy can do, and he is actually on our team, so we got to see what he can do. So
right.
That's all I got to say.
Okay. All right. And let me get to Jose. Jose is new to the chat. Jose, what's going on, man?
Not much. How you doing? I'm here. My wife is sleeping, so I'm trying to put some light here without bothering her.
I see it, man.
Yeah. Regarding the draft, this is a very crapshoot of a draft because by looking at the mock draft that I see in the different places, it's like players are moving all over the place. And that being the case that, that this draft, I think somebody's going to win based on getting the right guy. So I think that's what we need to do. We need to address needs, but I don't believe that we have to go to the point guard if we don't like him just because we need a point guard.
Okay. Now, yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you, especially in this draft.
If we have a need for a stretch forward, a stretch power forward, if we have one that we like, we should take him. And maybe it'll allow us to address the situation with all our point guards. We got Frank and Dennis Smith Jr. and maybe Alfred Payton will be good for another season to try to help these two guys improve.
Right.
I'm sorry?
Right. And I think I don't know what's going to happen with Alfred Payton. We had a good conversation about Alfred Payton the other day, whether or not the Knicks would keep him or move him. He does make $8 million. I think that they can waive him. If they do waive him by June 28th, they got to give him $1 million. Then they can. I think that they can sign him back for a cheaper contract. So I'm not sure how it'll work. We'll see. Look, the Knicks can make a lot of moves in this draft. They have the flexibility to do a lot of stuff if they want to try to trade up, trade down, do some things. I can't wait to find out where they're going to be drafting.
Hey, I wanted to bring up this guy, Marcus Howard. What do you think?
I haven't looked at him a lot. Someone else brought that up the other day.
Obviously, for the second round, I mean, you never know with this guy. And this guy is a scorer. I mean, he's a super scorer.
Yeah.
But a lot of draft having very late or not even getting drafted. And another guy, Pritchard. If we can somehow get those two guys in the as free agent, I mean, undrafted, one of those two guys could become a real gem. A diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
And they got the shooting.
Right, and that's something we need, the shooting, man. Hey, Jose. I'm sorry. I'm gonna because I gotta get to another show, but I hope that you come back. I'm glad you joined us in the chat. I hope you come back and join us some more. We love to have new people in the chat. Man.
I will.
Definitely.
Cool.
Appreciate it. And Andrew, I'm gonna let you get the last word in here before I get up out of here. If Andrew's there. Andrew, you there? Nah, Andrew ain't paying attention. I'm gonna go ahead and get on over to the front stoop because I don't think Andrew's paying attention, ladies and gentlemen. Big shout out to Big Freezy for becoming a 70s NBA champion. And I do want to let you know on the next show, I meant to do it tonight. I didn't get a chance to do it tonight, but on the next show, we'll have, for everyone who is a member, if you are a member, you'll be able to stream the chat and hear what they're talking about and join their conversation in the chat. Now, you won't be able to join it by, if the chat is full, it'll be hard to get into the chat, but you'll be able to, you'll have your own separate stream where you guys can talk on your own separate stream about what's going on in the chat. All right, because they always have their own conversations in the chat separate from what I'm talking about. You can look here and you see these guys having a conversation. You'll be able to join in on that conversation. All right, so the next show, this chat will be available for members only. You'll be able to stream it and join into that conversation and see what's happening. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. I had to push the time back for the West Side Gun album review. I pushed it back to 12:15. Okay, so that way to give you guys all some time to get over there. Do me a favor, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel. I apologize about any of the technical issues I had earlier. All right, but that'll be cut out. The final version is all going to be cut out, so it'll look really, really good. It won't look like there's any issues going on, any issues happening. You know what I mean? Ishmael Rivas, you said, how do you become a 1970s member? So whatever system you're on, if you look down below the video, there's a little button that says join. You click on that join button and you can become a member, and you'll see whatever perks are there, and you can become a member. All right. It's a join button. Okay. So that's all you got to do is join the button. Hit that join button. Okay. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm heading out. Please hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Okay. And join me on the front stoop. I'm putting the link in the channel once more. Trying to get my subscribers up to 1,000 subscribers over there on the front stoop. So you can help me out. You can help me out. Help me out, ladies and gentlemen. Subscribe to the channel. 337 people still here. 337 subscribers. Get me to 1K. All right. So I just put it in the chat. Subscribe and then join us on the chat right now. Click on that button and join us over there. We're going to have a good time talking, listening to some music. Even if you don't listen to hip hop, just come join us. Have a good time. You know what I'm saying? Have a good time. All right, Big Freezy, say, thank you for the super chat. He said, great show again, big dog. I appreciate you, man. Freezy, I'm looking forward to seeing you on the front stoop. Freezy always joins us on the front stoop as we break down this West Side Gun album. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. Have yourselves a great weekend. Likely I'll see you on Sunday. But wait for the notification. But I'm looking to do Classic Knicks on Sunday. But wait for that notification to come around. Okay, so we're going to break down another one of the classic New York Knicks games. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great weekend. Be peaceful. Hopefully I see you on the front stoop and all that good stuff. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm out. Peace. Oh, hold up. Let me get my stinger up. There you go. Now I got my stinger up. Peace, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great weekend. If I don't see you on the front stoop, I'll see you Sunday. Peace.